Hi, Christina here, and today I'm going to take you through the resources that we use for our mini unit on the Yukon, which we recently completed. Now, if you're new here, we're studying Canada for the entire year across pretty much every subject. These mini units are focusing on social studies, geography, art, and some First Nation studies as well. Now, I start off each unit pretty much the same way, using the book of the province or territory from the Canada Close-Up series. You can see what it looks like here. It's a good mix of pictures and writing, and for multiple ages. I believe this is for about 6 to 9-year-olds. And then I pair it with some extra readings and some sheets from this book here. This is Exploring Canada's Geography by Apple Press, and it's for grades 4 through 6. Now I'll just give you a look at what their binder looks like, and you can see kind of what these pages look like and how I put it together, because we are doing this family school style for my 4-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and 10-year-old. Now I also use this book here, Canadian Sights and Symbols, Yukon, just because it has a little bit extra information in it over the Canada Close-Up series. You can kind of see what it looks like there. And it's a good book as well. And then we also do read-alouds that take place in each province or territory as we go along. And so for this unit, we did from the Canadian Flyer series, which we've been reading for the year, Crazy for Gold. It's a very short book with pictures. It was a good story. It has a lot of historical value, even though it's very, very simple, and so it's a good story, good book there. And then we also did this one here. This is The Cremation of Sam Mcgee by Robert W. Service, and these paintings are done by Ted Harrison as well. So it's very short, but this is a poem I remember reading when I was growing up, and I thought it was funny, and I wanted to share that with my kids. So we did that. And then my children also do independent readers as well. So my 10-year-old, who's in 5th grade, he read Farley Mowat's Lost in the Barrens, and he quite enjoyed the book. He said it was really good. This is the same author from Alice in the Family, if you're familiar with that book. I'll show you what it looks like inside. And then there was actually a movie as well. And this is from, I think, 1991. And he actually started watching it, and about 15 minutes in got really frustrated and turned it off, saying it has not the same story. It's quite different, but he went back and finished watching it, and yeah, he liked the book a lot better. So, but there is a movie if you're interested. And then my 7 and 8-year-old, they both read different versions of White Fang. So my 7-year-old read this one, which was quite an easy read for him. It's got pictures, it's quite a short one. And my 8-year-old read this one. I tried to find him the actual White Fang, and for some reason our library didn't have it. They only had these like junior versions of them. So he read that one there. There's also a movie of that one by Disney, but they didn't want to watch it, either of them. They liked the story, but they didn't think that it was worth watching the video, so there you go. Now we also did use this book here, which we have been using throughout our studies, Canada's Natives Long Ago. We did Natives of the Subarctic here, and you can kind of see what that looks like in there. Great little unit, activities and information on there. We also watched this video, The Klondike Gold Rush by PBS. This was really interesting. I enjoyed this one. It was about an hour, I believe. And then we watched this one as well, which was Discovering Great Towns, Whitehorse, Yukon. It was about half an hour, 25 minutes, and it was really good too. It's interesting to actually see what places look like, and to just be able to get that visualization. So that was good. And then for the artist for this unit, we did do Ted Harrison. So we had this book here, A Brush Full of Color, and it tells about his life as well as his artwork and the progression and kind of just his background. And so we used that book there. We also had this one here. This is Northern Alphabet, and it's all of his artwork as well. And then for our artwork, we did chalk pastels of the Northern Lights, and the kids used 2 different techniques, and they turned out really well. So I'll show you what they look like here. So now what I'm going to do is I'll give you a look at their binder and how I set that up, and then I'll show you all the extra resources that we use for this unit as well. So before I go on and show you their binders, I did forget one book. So this is Gold Rush Fever, A Story of the Klondike, written by Barbara Greenwood. And my 10-year-old also read this book. This is quite a thick book. and it has a good mix of story and pictures as well as artwork and really detailed information. It's a great way for children to kind of understand the Klondike and the gold rush with lots of true facts, I guess, but in an interesting way, and so there's that book as well. So here's an overview of the kids' binders. So my 4-year-old preschooler, 7-year-old second grader, 8-year-old third grader, and 10-year-old fifth grader. And so my daughter always starts off with a map just to kind of get familiar with the areas and the shapes of the land. And then I just give her a number of coloring pages because she mostly just listens. Sometimes she draws her own pictures, and she can just color whatever she wants as we go through each day. So that's her binder. And then these are some of those apple presses sheets, and there's quite a variety to them. I'll give you a look. So they talk about different landscapes, the climate, glaciers, winter camps, northern communities, the gold rush, the natural resources. This is about the Musher's Quest. And then they end with a map. They try and fill in as many cities as they can. There's a quiz that we all do. And then notes. And he's just starting to learn how to take some notes. That's his there. And then I typically just add in a couple extra pages for the older kids. So I'll give you a look at this one here. You can see he had an extra one there. And some of them are the same. And then again, the map, the quiz, and then he has his notes here. That's something we've been working on this year, so he has more of those. And then this one here. Let's see, he had an extra one there. This one. And this one. I really do like the Apple Press books for their variety. There's quite a lot in those workbooks. Again, another sheet there, another one there, Yukon system, and then the notes and such at the end. So there's a look at how we kind of make this one topic or subject work for multiple ages family school style. We like to try and have books on hand for all of our children and their varying ages about what we're learning about, so they can just pick them up and look at them. So here is a look at some of those books we had on hand. This is Yukon Sled Dog by Judith Presnell, I believe. Give you a quick look inside. You can see really neat artwork for a children's story. There's one. This is Being Caribou, and it's by Karsten Hewer, I think is how you say that. And so this is an interesting one. Some great pictures of the area and the terrain. This one is Klondike Gold by Alice Provenson. Another children's book. It's got quite a bit more writing in it though, so for an older child. This one here is The Golden Trail, the history of the Klondike Rush. This is for an older child as well, into teenager kind of age. This one here, The Delta is My Home. So these books here are not specific to the Yukon, but I got them out as books of the Arctic, as we study the Arctic kind of territories. So you can see what it looks like. So real life pictures about a boy, I believe he's 10, and kind of what his life is like there. Interesting book. This is Noah and Great Bear, An Adventure in the Yukon, another children's book. Let's see here. Again, fun artwork, a short story. This one here is Painted Skies by Mallory. This is about the Northern Lights and about traditions surrounding them as well. Some fun artwork in there. Then we have this series here we've been using throughout the year, and this is the Cordelia. And these are for very young children, very, very simple. This is another series. We've been watching those movies as well throughout the year. And on the Cordelia, I'll show you what it looks like. And then again, another series here we've been using, Yukon. This is very short, simple, oops, quite a few pictures about the Yukon. And this one here, the Inuit thought of it. I thought this was a really interesting book. It talks about Arctic innovation and different things that the Inuit have invented and developed over the years. That was a neat book. Here we have Yukon Spellbound under Northern Sky. And this one is artwork or photography of life in the Yukon. You can see what that looks like. It's always interesting to see the actual photographs of the area. And then another one here, just called Yukon. And again, just to see what the Yukon actually looks like and images. So there you go. Those are the books that we had on hand as well. So those are all the resources that we use for the Menina on the Yukon. If you have any questions or there's anything I've missed, please leave it down below and I'll try to answer it for you. But otherwise, I hope that you're having a great day, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Take care.